All right, let's get some grease in this front end here. New grease coming out of the ball joint right here. We can't leave these fittings in here because the U-joint will hit them, so we're putting the plugs back in. But we wanted to get some grease in these upper ball joints so they'll last longer. Alright guys, welcome back. You guys probably know, if you've been watching the videos, this is the Project F-550 with the 7.3 liter diesel, the XLT truck that I picked up from New York. If you have not seen the previous videos on this, I will leave them up in one of these corners so you can watch that if you're interested. As you just saw, we got the front end all greased up and put new grease fittings in the upper ball joints, so that's a good maintenance item. And this video, we are going to start attacking the dump body on this. There's just some heavy scaling throughout the whole thing. And as I showed in the previous videos, there's like, see these holes just from the wheels kicking up salt and debris. So these have to be patched. Definitely need new sheet metal on that. But these heavy scaling parts can be hit with like a wire wheel and kind of clean right up. The taillight assembly needs to be all completely redone. That's rusty. The headboard has some bad blistering. Like, look at these sections. This is all gonna have to get hammered out, wire wheeled. I don't think there's any, I think there's one hole in the passenger side of the headboard, but other than that, it should be good. There's gonna be some pitting, obviously. So you can see someone's painted here already in this section, so it's gonna be pitted. Yeah, that was the hole that's gotta be patched on the headboard. But other than that, the headboard should clean up pretty good. Here's the passenger side. So we've got a few holes. We got a hole here. There's a hole right here. And pretty much similar to the driver's side. You got a little bit of patchwork to do above the tire here and there. And the taillight assembly is melted on this side, if you can see that. We're gonna brush this. I've had good luck with brushing dump bodies before. It looks good. I mean, obviously when you get right up close to this, you might see some streaking and stuff. This is a dump truck. This is a work truck. It does not need to be a show truck. Things just need to be reliable. You need to be able to just hit the key and go. That's what I'm going for. So stay tuned and we're gonna just rip right into it. We got all the heavy rust kind of knocked out and vacuumed out of here pretty decent. This thing is Swiss cheese though, she's pretty bad. But we should be able to plate this up nicely, make the outside look decent. I'll show you what it looks like on the inside here. We got to cut all the welds out of this and weld a new piece of channel iron. Here too, that's what sucks.
Pushing in the middle.
Well, I guess you want to go grab it, Benny? That should hold it in place. Alright guys, we should be able to weld this up nice. It's pretty much even all the way across. Let's see if this thing will stay here. We're gonna have to get a little piece to fill in here, but this piece is sitting nice. Gonna need a little piece out over there as well. Alright guys, what's that famous saying? Can't weld good, weld a lot. That is what this is right here. Here's the final product of this inside piece of channel iron. weld it up with some nice new spray paint on it to kind of keep the rust down. It's inside of a dump body, so it doesn't really matter, obviously. But it's all sealed back up again. Much better than it was before. I have a piece of flat stock I'm going to put all the way across here to fill, to cover up all these holes. All right, we got our panel tacked in place here. We're gonna have to do some grinding to kind of grind the old paint off so we can get a good weld on this. But she's sitting level, no more holes. Let's glue her on. Just got a quick coat of paint on that so it doesn't start rusting. We are going to start tackling the rust holes on above the rear wheels here on both sides. It's very windy out today, so I don't know how MIG welding's going to go, but we're going to try our best. And then we got on the driver's side here too. The driver's side's a little bit worse. All right, we have kind of switched gears because it is way too windy to try to weld. So we're gonna start prepping the rest of the body for, I guess, the new paint. We gotta kind of scuff up these rough, rusty patches and sand down the clear coat. We're gonna work around all the rust holes and stuff, but I guess just get the rest of the body prepped and ready to be painted. So that's what we'll work on. We're gonna do wire wheeling and sanding. Quick update here. The body is fully sanded and prepped for paint, obviously everywhere besides where there's holes. We also pulled off the sideboards here too, because I'd like to be able to stain these. I think it'd look a lot nicer, so we gotta sand these down and stain them as well. Got these sideboards all sanded up nicely. Let's go get some stain on these things and see how good we can make them look, huh? stain came out absolutely awesome on this. I love that. This is gonna pop on the truck. It's gonna make it look way cleaner, protects the wood. And now it is time to make them shine. And poly to seal everything up. These are all stained, 3 coats of poly. These things look absolutely amazing. Look at the shine, the nice grain in these sideboards here. This is gonna look literally so good once these go on the body here. Let these things dry, and we're gonna get right back into welding up the rest of the patching on the dump body there. Going to abandon this rear taillight section. It was much more rustier than I had originally thought. So we're going to get the normal taillights that actually come off the frame of the truck. It's just the square lights on either side here. I think it's just going to look a lot cleaner, and then we'll put a mud flap behind it so it'll come down and block off the rear tires, obviously. But I'll show you what the other one looked like. You can see what's left of where the lights were sitting. I mean, the bottom is completely gone, and this is the back side, which was completely gone, and then this piece of like roofing or something was like put on like this to kind of block it off. Like, it's just like, look at it, it's Swiss cheese. So we deleted all that. We're gonna take the passenger side off now and do a whole different setup. It's going to look a lot cleaner and just be nicer all around. Hello, James is working on the passenger side. I'm going to keep on welding. Alright guys, we got all the plates welded onto the body, fully around 360 on all edges. Came out great, very happy with it. Both the taillight sections are now removed on the back of the body here. So we are on the next phase of the project here, and that is to take off the 24 past years of New England salty roads. So what that entails is we got to clean up all the scaly surface rust throughout the whole truck, on the frame, the dump body here, underneath the cab, the axles, literally everything that gets exposed to the salty roads is going to need to be cleaned, and then we're going to coat everything with the fluid film that I've talked about in previous videos. I'm really happy with that product. It seems to last very well and holds up, and it creates a nice bond. It like kind of wraps around anything you spray it on, kind of blocks away any sort of salt and weather, and keeps the steel nice. If we don't do this project now, it's going to go downhill really quick. All this needs to come off so the fluid film can penetrate the steel here and protect it from the salty roads. I mean, everything needs to be done. And you can see this right here. All this is just falling off. Driver's frame rail. So for you guys who have been watching, you kind of seen underneath this cab already. There is a hole up in the inner front rocker panels we'd like to try to patch up, but under here we're going to try to wire wheel and blow off all this stuff. So I think we can save the bottom of the frame here, but you can see all that rust build up there. It's all going to come off. And there's that hole I was telling you about. Obviously it's not going to be absolutely perfect, but we should be able to do something to kind of seal that back up and make this truck last for a lot longer. Here's the frame rail. Driver's front wheel. It's pretty decent up here. I think just with a blowgun would do the trick. There's no serious severe scaling up here. The front axle. This truck did have a leak at some point, so actually over the years kind of really saved the front axle in this truck. You can kind of see it over here. This front axle is pretty much just ready for a new coat of fluid film. The radiator support definitely needs to be wire wheeled down and descaled as well, but there's no holes in it. It's just some heavy surface rust and scaling, and the fluid film should protect that. Moving on to the passenger side here, same scenario. The dump body underneath is pretty decent. It's pretty much just ready for fluid film. Everything's pretty good under here for the most part. It's just the subframe and the actual frame of the truck really needs to be descaled here. Moving on to the passenger side underneath the cab. Pretty equivalent to the driver's side here. You got the hole up here too. I'd like to try to patch that after we get it all descaled. And then the frame rail. Back of the front axle here. The rear axle is actually pretty good. We gotta just kind of wash off any dirt, hit it with a wire wheel quick, and I think the rear axle should be pretty good. We're gonna be doing the inner frame rails too. As you can see up there, everything is getting done that gets exposed to salt under here. This is how you save a vehicle. And then the passenger frame rail up front, kind of similar to the driver's side too, not that bad. No serious scaling. I think what we're gonna do is set the air compressor up and go over this with a blowgun first and try to get any of the loose stuff off first, and then go over everything with a wire wheel after and do some like chiseling and scraping with some putty knives and see how clean we can get this thing. Wow, some dirt in this wheel. Looking better. It's good to see that this cab support is fully intact here on this. We got the frame all prepped, ready for fluid film. The hoist all set up nice. It's all cleaned off. Bottom of the dump body, there's no scaling. Rear axle, that's all set, ready to rock. Yeah, look at all the stuff that we chiseled off the frame here. Underneath the cab came out pretty good. And frame rail. Front of the frame here. There wasn't much work that had to be done up here. Just minor scaling, minor paint peeling that needed to be kind of scraped off so the fluid film can kind of penetrate it. The front axle looks good. That's fuel on the ground there. Fuel line was leaking, so we were replacing O-ring. Core support looks nice there. Here we are on the passenger side. Frame looks nice. All scraped down. Hoist looks really good on the side too. There's still quite a bit of original paint left on the hoist there, so there wasn't much to do on that. Same with the floor of the dump body here. It's all ready to be sprayed down. Here we are on the passenger side underneath the cab. Pretty much the same scenario as the driver's side here. Some rust up on the inner rocker. I guess this isn't as bad as the driver's side, but there's rust there, so hopefully we can stop it for good, or at least slow it down. So inside the frame rails are really nice. There's still a lot of original paint left. So let's get some fluid fill on this thing. Everything's done. I'm working underneath the cab now. So holes like this right here, you spray inside to get the inside of the cab corners and rocker panels. But it just looks way nicer under here now. She is wrapped up and looks absolutely amazing under here now. No more rust. You are suffocated. Done with you. Love to see it. I would recommend spraying the truck every single year, at least mid to late fall, just to get a new coat on it, and if any parts kind of washed off, you can kind of touch them up again. But this thing looks awesome. I'm really happy with how this thing came out. But as for now, this body is ready to be painted. I'm very happy about that, so let's pull it in the garage and start getting to brushing here. Got her coat of paint on her and it came out awesome. Everything's still wet, so we gotta wait for this to dry, but I am pumped with how this thing came out. It just looks literally a million times better already. Still got a lot to do on the truck, but I'll catch you guys once this paint's dry and we'll keep on trucking along here. All the lights are in. Perfect. All the body lights are in. We still gotta do the tail lights, but body lights are good. Let's get the sideboards on now. Alright, new factory OEM cabin chassis taillights here, and we're going to do exactly what they do from the factory. There is this hole right here and this hole right here that they just bolt these two on this bracket and line up perfectly, just like that. Alright, so we can finish fluid filming the back here. So we'll finish doing that and I'll catch back up with you guys. Alright, we just finished fluid filming the back part of the body here and the frame. There's just one thing missing back here now, and that is these beautiful things right here. We're going to slap these things on and the whole rear end of this truck will be done. Alright guys, that's a wrap for this one. It was a long one. We got a lot of work done. We protected the frame and the chassis underneath the truck from any more salt and debris. It's not going to get any worse. I hope the new owner takes care of this because there was a lot of work we put into it. The dump body's all painted up nice. Sideboards look amazing with the new stain on them as well. Whole new taillight assembly with new mud flaps. It just looks very good from the back now. If you guys are enjoying this, comment down below what you want to see next. Give this video a like, and there's a lot more to do. We got to start tackling the cab. It's pretty ugly. There's a lot of stuff wrong with it, so stay tuned for that next video, guys. Thanks for watching.